Wow. What the hell?
You're not in hell, honey, don't worry.
Who are you?
My name is Lorenzo, I'm your future husband and father of our 2 witch children, who will be sacrificed to save the magic realm before they're old enough to write their own spells.
Oh no.
Oh yes.
So you and Olga Strankova are keeping in touch, but won't fuck again anytime soon? That must suck for you.
Hey, I do have female friends that I don't sleep with. Mayor Von Hinton, for example.
Did you have a bad dream?
A dream, a memory. I can't always tell which is worse.
Is that why you became a criminal? To pay the world back for its crimes against you?
No, that's my father's fault. Ripping people off with a smile on his face was his speciality, and I guess some of that is rubbed off on me, although I don't smile nearly as much as he did. What about you? We were so busy making plans for the future the other day that we completely forgot to talk about the past. How does one get involved with the SCIA?
Believe it or not, I have a degree in child psychology. But where I used to live, parents weren't exactly keen on sending their children to the big scary black dude, and most jobs that required such a profile weren't my thing because I wasn't a violent person.
Have you tried getting into personal security?
Sure, but my charges always ended up being more afraid of me than whatever I was supposed to protect them from. After a while, espionage was the only field of work that remained because the SCIA thought I looked so obviously suspicious that no one would ever suspect me of anything. They were wrong. Like everyone else, they judged me based on my size, and when I asked them what they think the world looks like from my perspective, they just said, smaller?
You would love the magic community. It's so full of ghosts, aliens, talking animals and people of all shapes, sizes and colors, you would barely even stand out. Unfortunately, it also attracts all kinds of truly disturbing characters.
Say, Lorenzo, do you have any plans for the weekend?
Who are you, and what have you done to my girlfriend? Because the real Do Maris is so shy, she wouldn't even hold hands with me in public, let alone ask me out on a date.
I'm not asking you out, I'm just curious. You only turn 18 once in your life. I was wondering if you're throwing a big party or something.
Only if I can somehow get my parents out of the house. They prefer some peace and quiet over a party full of screaming teenagers.
No!
It's probably why I'm an only child.
Is that also why you never bring them over to my house? My 4 younger siblings love to be noisy.
No, my parents keep to themselves in general, like they have some big dark secret that they can't share even with me.
Don't underestimate parents when it comes to keeping secrets from their kids. I spent my entire childhood believing that mine were obsessed with plums, because they kept talking about them, until I figured out that they were simply using plum as a stand-in for swear words.
Wow, it doesn't get much darker than that. Wanna come in?
Sorry, but I'm already late to pick up my youngest siblings from kindergarten. If only I was a witch, then I could trade this ancient bike for a fast-flying broom.
Who says you can't? My parents have a totally witchy-looking broom. Just a second, let me show you.
But... alright.
Wow. Mom, Dad? Did you have my birthday party without me? Who are you? Hey, wait. This can't be right. What happened here? Mom? Dad? What?
Are you the last of them?
Did you do this?
Stop asking stupid questions, and let's make this a fair fight. Come on, whip out your wand.
My what?
Don't take me for a fool. Your mother was a witch, your father was, which means you're one too. But if you prefer to die like a coward, fine by me, as long as you just died.
Oh god. Lorenzo?
Run, Do Maris. Get on your bike and go, quickly.
Witches. You can't hide from me, demon spawn.
Let's get on the boat.
The boat? I don't even know how to steer such a thing.
But I do. My father is a sailor, remember?
If you get us killed at sea, I'll kill you.
We've lost them.
Not for long. There's only one place they could be headed. Dead Grass Isle. Rumor has it there's a portal to their magic realm hidden in the lighthouse. I just wonder why they're not using brooms to fly there. They could have gotten away much faster that way.
Maybe they're not really witches after all?
There's no way for two adult witches to have a child that didn't inherit at least some of their magic. No, that boy is a witch for sure. I don't know about the girl, but if she supports that kind of depravity, then she has to die too.
Why are we even hunting witches, Father?
Because they disturb the natural order with their dark magic. Even the Bible says you shouldn't let a witch live. For all humans to be equal, those playing with dangerous powers that mankind should never have discovered must be erased from existence, before they erase us all.
So your husband was born a witch, even though he didn't always know, and then he taught you how to use magic yourself?
He helped me grow my powers, but he's not the one who gave them to me in the first place. Normal witches can't just turn others into witches in an instant. That was the ageless sage. But he always asks for something in return, and in my case, it was a price I couldn't pay, even though Lorenzo would have done so in a heartbeat.
Seems like you two were always very different. How did you even get together?
It was his magic that fascinated me, as well as how he didn't bow down to my father at any point. My father was displeased with me still being unmarried in my late 20s, without realizing that he himself was the reason for that. I never got far with the few suitors I had in my younger days, because they all ran away as soon as they met him. All except Lorenzo, who even managed to scare him.
What about your mother?
A self-absorbed beauty queen who married my father for his money and influence, put up with his antics until she didn't need him anymore, and then left him for a much younger toy boy when I was barely out of my teens. I don't know which is sadder, that I never saw her again, or that I didn't even miss her. Life went on as usual with my father.
So we could say you were a princess in a golden cage, guarded by a fire-spitting dragon, until Lorenzo came by as your knight in shining armor, and freed you.
That's not a metaphor I would ever have used, but I guess it's fitting in a way.
Sorry, ex-child psychologist here. Speaking in fairy tale metaphors is an easy way to help children understand complex circumstances.
It's not complex. Just like a child of two witches will usually be another witch, a child of two assholes will usually become an asshole too, lacking good role models to become a good person instead. Does that answer your question why I turned to a life of crime?
Why do you think your husband turned out the way he did?
His parents were killed by witch hunters when he was very young, and from then on, the ageless sage was the only one left for him to look up to. No wonder he practically worshipped that crazy toddler.
You have a morbid sense of humor, Do Maris, leading us to a graveyard while we're being hunted by deranged murderers. At least if they kill us here, we won't have it far to our final resting place.
They call this the Cemetery of Familiars. I don't know what that means, but it's safer than the lighthouse. My father once told me that people who go in there don't always come back out, or at least not until hours later, being nowhere to be found in the meantime. I try to stay away from that building.
Those disappearing people might as well have been my parents. They sometimes left for days at a time, saying they were going to the lighthouse, but never explaining why, or letting me come with them. It was one of their many secrets. Now I'll never get to ask them again.
I'm so sorry, Lorenzo. If there's anything I can do.
You can't, and neither can I. There's no time to mourn now. My parents taught me to always look at the bigger picture, and that's what we need to do. For now, surviving is our priority.
It doesn't have to be. How about I just reunite you with your parents, so you never have to mourn them at all? Provided there even is such a thing as reunion with loved ones in hell.
Why are you chasing us? What have we done to you?
Are you a witch too?
No, and neither is he. Witches don't exist.
They won't anymore, once I'm done with their kind. Now step aside, or you will die too, whether you're a witch yourself or not. This is my first and only warning.
Where did this rain come from? It wasn't even cloudy a second ago.
That's the witch's doing.
You're right about that one thing.
And what the fuck are you? Crawl back to your playground, little guy. This is none of your business.
You've issued your first and only warning, so let me issue mine. Leave these two alone, or you shall turn to dust. Do we have an understanding?
What the hell? How can this baby even speak so clearly?
Do you think I'm taking orders from a diaper-wearing freak like you? Has your stupid mother never told you not to be rude to adults?
Wrong answer.
Father?
Go back to your people and report to them what you saw today. Tell them that if they ever come after us again, they will suffer the same fate.
That was incredible. Disturbing, but incredible. How did you know the lightning was going to strike that very spot at that very moment?
I made it strike. That man was a witch hunter, of the worst kind. But what he said about you and your family, Lorenzo, was true. Your parents were witches, and so are you.
What? That can't be real. This is all a joke, isn't it? Wow, now it all makes sense. I'm turning 18 and my parents want me to move out, so they set up this elaborate prank to make me hate them. They're probably laughing their asses off right now as they're cleaning up the staged mess in the house. What about you, Domaris? Were you in on it this entire time?
Are you serious? You just saw a man get pulverized by lightning summoned by a baby. Even if this was just a prank, your parents would have to be witches to pull it off.
A minute ago you still claimed that witches don't exist.
I understand this is hard to believe, but if you want proof, follow me to the lighthouse. I'll show you that I'm telling the truth, and if you still don't believe me then, I'll never bother you again.
So all those times my parents mysteriously disappeared, this is where they went?
They were well known and respected in our community. Your father was an agent of the Realm of Magic Police, or ROMP for short. Your mother sold magic potions and elixirs in Glimmerbrook, where many of our witches live. When I heard about their deaths at the hands of witch hunters, I immediately went looking for you, because I knew that the people who killed them were going to come after you too.
None of this would have happened if they had just told me. If I had known about magic and how to use it, I could have defended myself, and them.
They were going to tell you the truth on your 18th birthday. There have been no reports on witch hunter activities in a very long time, so they probably assumed, like most of us, that they were safe. But I've seen this pattern time and time again. Witch hunters have a habit of going underground for years, even decades at a time, just long enough to lull the magic community into a false sense of security, and then strike when we least expect it. I'm sorry they got your family this time.
So that was the big secret. The Mamminis were witches all along.
That means it's in my blood, and with enough study and practice, I could become just as powerful as my parents were, if not more so. Teach me everything you know about magic, almighty baby. I'm going to need it to kill every single one of those witch hunters.
He is the ageless sage, not the almighty baby. How dare you talk to our leader like that?
It's alright, High Priestess Leguan. Lorenzo, I understand that you're very emotional at the moment, but your parents wouldn't have wanted that for you, and their funeral is being arranged as we speak. Pay them your last respects before making any life-changing decisions.
Whatever they would have wanted, they're no longer here to say it. And the best way to pay my respect is to avenge them.
I'd say we get you a magic wand first, the most important tool for learning to control your powers. Come with me to Caster's Alley. High Priestess Leguan, would you keep Lorenzo's girlfriend company in the meantime?
Of course.
I'll be right back, Domaris.
Do you need anything?
Not right now, thanks.
Good.
What's with all this moon imagery? Is the moon important to witches?
not just to witches, but also to vampires, werewolves, and every other supernatural creature you can imagine.
Vampires and werewolves are a thing too? Wow, this day is getting weirder and weirder.
You're calling us weird?
Of course not. Sorry, I didn't mean that in an offensive way. I find it fascinating. Could you tell me more about the moon, and how it affects witches?
You know, we magical beings have our own religion. Many of us pray to this angel called Mother Moon.
But you're wearing a Christian cross around your neck.
It may look like a Christian cross to you, but it is not. It's the same symbol but with a different meaning. In our world, it signifies two paths crossing, the path of the mundane and the path of the supernatural, as it happened to Mother Moon. Before she became an angel, she was an ordinary human, but legend has it she made a pact with the moon, asking for eternal life so she would have time to study the forces that make up the universe.
Magic.
Exactly. The moon granted her immortality in exchange for everything else she treasured in her life. She agreed to forsake all bodily desires, would only come out by night and feed on the life essence of nature itself instead of normal food. Like this, Mother Moon became the first vampire in history, and the first witch. And that is why we worship her.
So the world's first witch was originally a mere mortal. Does that mean that, in theory, anyone can become a witch? Could I become one?
It is definitely possible. If you're interested, talk to our leader. Since you already know about us, I think he would appreciate you becoming one of us.
Really? That would be the coolest thing ever.
Yes, but be aware that it will make you the target of witch hunters, and that the ageless sage always demands the sacrifice of those he grants the gift of magic, like the moon did of Mother Moon. And if you are not ready to pay him back when your time comes, you risk getting cursed. Magic always comes with a price.
Do your children know why they've been cursed?
Tiamo was told by the vampire who turned him that the ageless sage took his powers away, but not that my refusal to sacrifice him and his sister was the reason for that. He suspects that Wilbica's condition has something to do with it as well, but Wilbica herself thinks it's just some weird genetic defect among witches.
And you never saw your husband again after that day?
Only in some of my nightmares.
Sounds like you never missed him at all.
Why would I? He cheated on me shortly after Wilbica was born, probably because I was too busy taking care of two toddlers and my flower shop to also be the perfect wife, and our marriage only went downhill from there. Our fight on Valentine's Day wasn't the first thing on the camel's back, just the final straw that broke it. Not that I would have thought about that any differently if it weren't for our problematic history.
What are you two talking about?
Your mother just told me a little about your father.
Grande.
Sorry. Should I not have said that?
She never tells us anything about him, not even why he left us. Most of the time she pretends he never existed, so I'm surprised that she even mentioned him to you.
She didn't, actually. I asked.
Even better. Every time we ask, all we get to hear is that we wouldn't understand, and it's the same with the leader of the magic realm. Did the ageless sage take Dad away? Is that why you hate him?
It's more complicated than that. I need to check our luggage to make sure we didn't forget anything in Strangerville.
Always a different excuse, but an excuse nevertheless.
We should be arriving at the airport soon. It's a little hard to tell in the dark.
Do you two have any fond memories of your father?
He used to help me dye my hair black, because it's actually dark brown in my human form.
He would sometimes wake me up in the middle of the night to take me on a trip.
He still does that, just not to you anymore.
And that is a fond memory?
Yeah, because it was usually Halloween, Harvest Fest or some other holiday where something magical happened at night, and he didn't want me to miss it. Tiamo would have come with us too if he hadn't always been so afraid of the dark. Kind of ironic when you think about it.
I wasn't afraid of the dark, just not so keen on the cemeteries he would often take us to, just so we can meet a few ghosts and dead familiars.
That's even more ironic, you undead wuss.
Whom are you calling a wuss?
I would say look in the mirror, but vampires don't have reflections. How do you even know what you look like?
Don't need a mirror to know that I look better than you.
beautiful ceremony. Even though the occasion isn't. I hardly knew your parents, but I'm sure they were wonderful people.
They were full of lies. But that doesn't matter now. I'm still going to avenge them. And I'm so glad that you decided to become a witch too, Domaris. At least I'm not alone in this.
I realize this may not be the perfect time, but there will never be a perfect time, so I'll just say it. Lorenzo. We can't be together anymore.
I was afraid you were going to say that. Guess I haven't been a great boyfriend lately, with everything that's been going on.
No, it has nothing to do with you. It's the price I'm paying for the gift of magic. Because I'm going to be more than just a common witch. High Priestess Lihuan is very old, and when she dies, she'll need someone to take her place.
You're becoming the next priestess of the moon.
My training has already begun. And like Mother Moon, to learn as much about magic as I can, I'll have to adapt to a life of abstinence and humility. The moment I break the rules, I will lose all my powers. That's what the Ageless Sage and I agreed upon. I'm sorry.
No need. You're doing something with your gift. Good luck with that. I'll make sure it isn't wasted on me either. So when do we start hunting the witch hunters?
All in due time. Let's get you a new place to live first, because you obviously can't go back to your parents' house. That mansion over there has been vacant for years. It may be a little haunted, but nothing a witch can't handle.
I'll consider those ghosts target practice. Thank you, Ageless Sage. Not only did you save my life, you also gave it purpose, so rest assured that whatever you decide regarding the continued existence of the magic community, whatever sacrifices are required to make the world a better place for us, I'll be with you.